OTAs have begun, and so has the fun. I'm so surprised, actually. I know we were expecting to hear from AG, but we heard from quite a few players, like giving quotes, talking about this, talking about that. We've seen a couple of players. They've been beefing up a little bit, huh? So there's a lot to discuss, and we are going to talk about it all. You already know these are your two favorite hosts. We're breaking it down all around. Boy Green meets Wudi.
Can you guys help us get a jet chant here? Yeah, going.
Oh.
Okay, right. Come on in.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go!
Let's go! Third Party Thursday.
Chris joining us here on the program with a capital P here on the program.
Jake Asman, come on down. How you doing, good sir?
Wow, what an intro. I mean, Boy Green is known for having the intro, but Wudi, that was unreal, man. Thanks for the kind words, son.
We are men of many names.
My favorite Austrian Jets fan right there, baby.
Boy Green meets Wudi. Welcome to another episode of Boy Green Meets Wudi. It is your boy James Wudi, and you already know we are Wudi, rocking everywhere. Right here is the boy who became king, rocking that Hall of Fame fitted. Let's get it. We talking about Mr. Paul Esden Jr. How you doing, my good sir?
It feels good to be in the full fit. I bring Hall of Fame energy. And one of my nicknames, I've gone by Boy Green in high school. My nickname was All Day because this big dude, Larry, shout out to Larry. It was Big Larry and Little Paul. Paul was like 5'3" in high school. I remained 5'3". Not sure why I indicated that I grew after that, but that's either here nor there. And he would turn to me before every game and go, "What time is it?" I'm like, "Game time." "How long?" "All day." And then it got fans into it and stuff like that, and things of that nature. But another nickname I have is this. Do you know what my other nickname is, Wudi?
You don't want me to guess, so
yeah, probably not. Closer is my other nickname. I get things done. You could call me the mailman because I always deliver. Now, I wish I could say that for the New York Knicks, but little I was trying to do the Heimlich on the Knicks last night. It's okay. Come on. Come on. And it's just
wow, you really sounded like somebody who is rooting for the Knicks. Should we have bought or sold Boy Green's comments on Tuesday about, now I'm rooting for the Knicks. Go New York, go. So I guess we could have sold those comments. What I gotta say about the Knicks is that they played a great game for 58 minutes, then a couple of minutes in overtime. The goaltending, right? That wasn't called, definitely impacted the game, but it should have never even went to overtime, right? Definitely should have never went to overtime. I would have to say a couple of miracles, literally miraculous events had to take place, starting with Aaron Nesmith. Never made 8 threes in a game any time in his life. But here he was, shot 8 for 9. And then, of course, there was a buzzer beater that hit off the rim. I think it touched the light in MSG. And that light touch, knocked it back into the hoop. Those are things that, we've seen one time, we're not going to see again. So for those celebrating, right, you enjoy your celebration. But like I said, those are things that are not happening again. When the Knicks come back, it's doing what they always do. Brunson had 40 last night. Brunson had 40 against the Celtics, cooking against the Pistons. They do what they always do. But in order to beat the Knicks one time, these Pacers had to act like Moses, literally Moses, Noah's Ark. They was building an ark out there. And so enjoy that miracle. You can say you've seen the Pacers beat the Knicks. Not sure if you'll be able to say that again.
But that ball, how does that happen? to go straight up. And we're all like, and you look at the fans going, huh? Pacers fans, Knicks fans. And then it was like Knicks fans, I was over. My radio partner here at the radio station just a couple hours ago. He was like, he fell to the ground when Tyrese Halliburton went, jump back, and then, and he went, and just fell down to the ground. And he was like, it's over. And then like they heard, wait, his toe was on the line. And my partner, like Undertaker, I'm alive. Right, we have a chance. And then mess around in OT. Like, oh boy, what a game. Crazy.
Yeah, like I said, shouldn't have been in that position. Aaron Neesmith, hitting, I want to say it was 4 or 5 threes in those last 2 minutes. That shot. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have a lot of faith going into OT. Like the momentum swing, obviously, right? From that is huge. But the Knicks did, they played well in OT, and that that goaltend, which was a clear goaltend, like proven to be a goaltend. It's crazy. But it wasn't. Did you not?
I didn't see it. I don't know.
You might need a new prescription. But no, like in all seriousness, like they showed the ball hit the backboard, and Reggie was like, "Yo, this is a goaltend." Reggie, the pacer, was like, "This
That's
is
true." He did.
This is a goaltend. That play would have put us up 6, I believe. So that's a different, in OT. To get a large lead like that is a big deal. But instead, they didn't call it. Brunson's down, so it's 4-on-5, and Andrew Nembhard gets a 3 to bring it down 1. So that was definitely, if we're talking about post OT, things that changed the game. That's got to be number 1. But should have never even gone to OT in the first place.
Yeah, I remember 2 things really stand out. First off, where the hell was the Knicks defense at the end? Obi Toppin not getting immediately fouled and gets a chance to go right to the hoop and get dunked. Speaking of fouls, his ass got fouled. He should have went to the charity stripe. He makes that they go up 4 and then you lose anyway. But like, how did you not foul him immediately? That to me didn't make any bleeping sense. And then you go to clock management for the Knicks. 24 seconds in the shot clock. Scoring within 10 seconds on your shot clock, and then Pacers are hitting threes, and that lead was just narrowing from that. The Knicks are scoring 2s, the Pacers are scoring 3s, and then the time. It wasn't about the points. The Knicks should have just held some more ball, but again, but alas, it's one game. Who knows what's going to happen? And hey, game 2 Friday night in the Mecca. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, yes, we will. And what you're going to see is a New York Knicks victory. All right, we know what's going to happen.
Oh, are you doing a Joe Namath guarantee right now on the show?
I mean, I don't know if I'm qualified to do a Joe Namath guarantee since I'm not on the squad, but I am very, very certain. I am confident. I would bet my bottom dollar, right, that the sun will come out tomorrow and that the Knicks will win on Friday.
Wow,
all right,
beautiful.
The game will be won. Yes.
Okay.
So.
Wow. Moving stuff. Well, before we get to our Jets topics, so we got OTAs and a lot of comments to get to. That's all going to be a lot of fun here in just a minute. I want to give a shout out because since my radio show ended at noon and then this show started at 3, I spent 2 of my couple hours. I think I had like 3 or 4 hours before the show started. I spent 2 of them, and everybody that is signed up for the tailgate in the YouTube description down below for our Jets Cowboys tailgate, Week 5, Sunday, October 5th, 1 o'clock. If you signed up and showed interest, you should already have an email in your inbox because I reached out over the last 2 hours to everybody. Say, hey, you signed up and said you wanted 3 tickets. Here's how much it is. Are you still interested? So everyone that signed up just to show interest should have an email right now in their inbox. If you do not have it, check your spam. Or if something else was wrong, like you put in the wrong email or something, also make sure you double check that because this thing is going to be moving and grooving very quickly. I know the game isn't for another 4.5 months, But we're moving and grooving. We're collecting money within the next 2 weeks. So this, long story short, this snowball is rolling. So guys, if you have hopes or desires of seeing the game with me and Wudi, make sure you reach out ASAP. If you're just hearing about this for the first time, make sure you reach out ASAP and fill out the Google Doc sheet, the YouTube description down below. That is in the description of every YouTube video I do, both with Boy Green Meets Wudi and Boy Green Daily. So good luck, everybody. Enjoy. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait.
It will be incredible. The value is just unbelievable. Unbelievable of the big ziti,
Sure.
the sliders, the camaraderie, the seats, you know what I'm saying? Got some nice visual of the field. It's gonna be a fantastic time. The energy, I mean, oh my god, I cannot wait. I'm out here shaking. Just like how the Garden will be shaking on Friday night. But yes, we are going to have a grand old time.
I can't wait. It's going to be cool. Let's get a super chat in here. And again, if you guys want to get involved in the contest, feel free. We got a little wild earlier, memberships and super chats raining from the high heavens. We got a YouTube super chat member shout out from Mr. Fulton Mraz, who, by the way, became a Boy Green Coffee Club member once again earlier today. He's been a member for 5 months. Salute.
Wow.
This was a sad story that hit us yesterday in the middle of everything that was going on. The Indianapolis Colts owner, Jim Irsay, passed away suddenly. Mr. Fulton Mraz, member of the show for 5 months. Hello, Paul. Please pray for me and the Jim Irsay family. And I do pray for Jim Irsay and his family. Incredibly sad story. I know Jim Irsay went through a lot during his life, but a very influential owner that had a massive impact on the National Football League. So no question about it. We're thinking about his family. He was in his 60s. That's way too soon. So, again, we're thinking about the Jim Irsay family, and very sad story last night in the National Football League. So we would certainly pour one out, Mr. Mraz. No question.
Definitely. Tremendous loss. I can't even lie. The first thing that I thought when I saw, the post was, it said the years, and he was born the same year as my mom, and I was
wow,
yo, that actually stopped me in my tracks because I was like, oh, I'm not trying to lose my, like that's what you're thinking.
Right. Of course, yeah.
So he was young, in my opinion.
Yeah, 1959, yeah.
Yeah, so definitely praying for his family and their terrible loss.
Yeah, there's no proper way to transition from that, but I appreciate Mr. Fulton Mraz for setting that in. Thank you. Well said, and I'm glad that we're able to give a salute here on the show. So Jets OTAs are going on right now over the last little bit. You know what? Screw Jets OTAs. Look at this. J-Boy hitting us with a 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. To hell with OTAs. It's only May, baby. Every time we get 5 memberships or more, we get to hear from a special someone. What about Wudi? I'm curious what the over-under is for that Jets-Cowboys game. How many Wudi Jets chants could we be receiving? More on that Vegas odds coming a little bit later, I'm sure, in the show. J-Boy with 180 raffle tickets so far this month. He's kicking all kinds of patookie. He's got a 100-plus raffle lead on the next closest, which is for Lillian Big D with 73, who is absolutely killing it. So appreciate you, J-Boy. Thank you very kindly, my good sir. And more to come. Again, we've got another little bit of time left here in the month of May for you guys to gift your memberships. Those 5 memberships, by the way, from J-Boy went to Ernesto Rivero, Chance, Woody Pecker, Damian DaVergilio, and the legend Bobby Midnight. Hey, Bobby. Nice. What's up, Bobby? Pour one out for your local Bobby. All right, beautiful. Love it. Damn straight. Absolutely exciting. By the way, for people who are asking, shout out to my fiance, Tatiana, who's tuning in on the Instagram feed. We are streaming live in 5 different places: my YouTube, my Twitter, my Gram, as me and the kids call it, hitting them with the G-Ram, all right? And we're also streaming on Wudi's Gram and Take Flight Talk on YouTube. So make sure you show your love over there as well. And CBW pouring one out for all the Twitter X followers, 84 of us over here. Keeping it real. Sharon over on Take Flight Talk, JETS, Jet. Let's go, baby. Take Flight Talk. Make sure you show your love over there for the Woodster, the Woodinator. As the great Chris Berman said at the Jets Hall of Fame that I was at a couple of years ago, saying, hey, the Jets continue to ace it in the spelling bee. So, booyah. JETS. Jets. Yes,
Let's
and
get
J-Boy says, marry that woman, and I will, hopefully before I'm dead, J-Boy. So that's on the list. And salute to Chance, who's also in here as well, new member to the Boy Green Coffee Club. All right, Woody, we got OTAs going on, and thanks to J-Boy. We got OTAs going on, and there's a lot of quotes, a lot of things being said by players, reporters, coaches, everything in between. So I want to throw one at you right off the top. And what we're going to do is buy or sell the BS or non-BS that we're hearing. Someone said yesterday that this player, quote unquote, looked good, Rich Cimini of ESPN said. And another person out in the social media street said, Jeremy Ruckert, tight end 1? Buy or sell?
Didn't you say that? That was your tweet, right?
That is, yeah. I just quoted myself, actually. I said that on Twitter, yeah. Thought I'd work myself in, not egotistically, yeah.
I will sell it. I'm gonna sell it.
Okay.
Now you, for some, right? I don't know. Maybe Jeremy Rucker wasn't calling you all day, right? You asked him to call you all day. He wasn't calling you. So I know you have like a personal disdain. Absolutely despise him.
Yeah,
I don't
hate his guts. Yeah.
I don't. I liked it. I was so happy with the draft. That was one of the few picks where before the draft I was like, I hope the Jets get him. They got him.
Yeah.
Loved what he could do on the field. He was kind of overshadowed in Ohio State. Now he's back with a lot of his teammates, and I think he's a solid player. I want him to be on the team, but is he better than Mason Taylor? I guess we're about to find out. I think Rucker does have an inside track, being on the team already, being in the NFL, kind of having NFL size already. Chemistry with Justin Fields, all of that works in his favor. So he definitely has an inside track. I'm happy to hear that chemistry is already coming to fruition. But it's May. We're talking about September. I'm thinking in between that time, that's a lot of time, Mason Taylor is gonna overtake.
I just want to say shout out to Terrence for shouting me out, saying Boy Green using his own quotes on a buy or sell episode. There are levels to this, baby. There are levels. And boom. Come on now. How many people have the gall to do that? I know I do. I will say this. I think Wudi actually has made a very strong case as, Jeremy Ruckert's agent, James Wudi, he's made a great case saying that that Ruckert, excuse me. Yeah, I'm getting everybody confused now. I'm lost in the sauce. I'm blind. That Jeremy Ruckert, he had a Liz Frank injury. He suffered, I believe it was at the Senior Bowl or he had it going into the Senior Bowl. Either way, he had that in the pre-draft process, so obviously that affected him. And the Jets invested $45 million at the tight end position that offseason. And on the outside, I remember it's being going, oh, awesome. They've ignored this forever. So if you're going to, indulge yourself anywhere, why not a tight end? Great. But if you look at it for Ruckert, who's the 101st overall pick in the third round, he's like, the hell? $45 million? I'm cryogenically frozen. When the hell am I going to break out of here? When am I going to get my chance? And to be candid, makes a lot of sense. Conklin ended up staying all the way through this past season. So, he was there the entire time. So Ruckert didn't have a chance. So as much as I hate Ruckert and his guts, he didn't have a fair shot, to be honest, going through it. So I pour one out for Ruckert. Tight end 1, absolutely ridiculous. Only an idiot would say that in May, for God's sakes. But especially Mason Taylor, where he's drafted. But I think he's got a real rock solid chance to be tight end 2. I'm not puff passing the stone smart doobies that may be coming here on this show. I will not. I will pass if it comes around the room here. And Woody's like, hey man, I'll be like, yeah. Anyone else want this? Mocking rocking here? Anyone else want this devil's dandruff? Huh? Anyone else want a little sniffy jiffy? That won't be me. So Stone Smart, I don't think so. So Jeremy Ruckert, by default, has to be at least tight end 2. And with how much this new coaching staff and Tanner Engstrand used multiple tight end sets last year for whatever he was responsible for, Ruckert should have opportunities. And that's so I will sell this statement from this dashingly handsome reporter. But yeah, man, he's got an op, and that's all you can ask for.
Well, I'll keep it in the same realm of, player elevation.
Sure.
With Will McDonald, EIEIO, right? He has bulked up. Aaron Glenn talked about it, right? 15 pounds, I believe, is a number we were given. And with that being said, right, because we know, he was rangy, he was wiry, but kind of a string bean. Now he's beefed up. Buy or sell, Will McDonald is in for a career year.
Wow.
With the New York Jets this season.
Okay. So here's some intrigue here. Let's before I answer your question, let's dive in. So Aaron Glenn says he's gained 15 pounds. Okay. Aaron Glenn set up that of Will McDonald. On the Jets' current roster sheet, he's listed at 245. Now, there's going to be a physical performed the week of mandatory minicamp. So that's about 3 weeks away. And so there will be an update in weight as they go through their physical process. So I am assuming some of these, like the players that just joined like yesterday, undrafted free agents, rookies, those are up-to-date weights because as they sign their contract, those are up-to-date weights. The veterans, I imagine they have not. So this 245 number, I'm curious. Now, Rich Cimini said by his math, Will McDonald will be in the 250-ish range, somewhere in there. So maybe some of the numbers are off here, and we'll see what happens. But that'll be another good temperature checkpoint. That, like, if you want to see some Jets sort of news nuggets yourself, look up the New York Jets official roster sheet around mandatory minicamp week. That Monday is physicals, just bringing it to another level. So be kind of curious on weight. But is he in for a career year? Well, he's coming off a 10.5 sack season, a double-digit sack season. I mean, career high would mean more than that. And I will buy it. Hell yeah, I will buy it. Will McDonald, baby, E-I-E-I-O, the farm, all of it, because he has to be the guy. Dude, sometimes you go into a ball game, right, when you're a team, and you look around the room, and you're like, oh, boy, if this is going to happen, it's going to be me. And Tyrese Halliburton did that last night for the Indiana Pacers against the New York Knicks. And you know what? Someone's going to have to do that for this Jets pass rush room. Jermaine Johnson, maybe his Achilles will magically heal. Who knows? Possible. But Will McDonald looks around that room. He's like, good boy. Okay. He knew how much pressure was on him. He gave up a 9. Okay. His jersey was 99. He had to give up one of his 9s and say, hey, I'm going to put the rest of this on my back so I have room. So he has more room on the jersey. There's a 9 there. He sort of slid it over. Now he's got more room to put on his back for this team. I'm buying that baby. And Terrence Hill saying, hey, now, Will McDonald with 11 plus sacks next season. With several fire emojis. Okay, let's go.
As you guys love to, you guys with your harsh names, you call me Negative Nancy and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Allow me to buy this. I'm gonna buy it. I believe that Will has good skill. I think he has good skill, and his weakness was perhaps his size, like not his length, because obviously his length is a great strength. But he was a little bit of a string bean. So now if he's bulked up, we're talking about 15 pounds of muscle. I would love to see what he does to those tackles in the AFC East and around the league. I think and this is somebody who when he gets going, right? You talk about 10.5 sacks. I want to say he got that number in about like 6 games. Like he gets sacks in bunches. So being the bully that he is, I think we could be seeing a large number. Somebody said 15. Oh, I'm looking at it right here, Mr. Roberts. I think 15 is definitely
at
within
least
the realm of possibility.
Okay, there you go. I'm going to first off, let's do 2 things here. First off, CBW is selling it. He's like, Or excuse me, sending in too many tweets. I can't even catch up on all the
Some of
damn
them.
tweets for God's sakes.
That's
Over 10 and a half sacks. Sell. CBW says. I'm like, okay. Which hey, let's show respect. Incel Allen's like, damn, I can't get a membership on any show. Well, you can join the Boy Green Coffee Club in the YouTube description down below. So bing, boom, bam, you can get it right there. So Incel, feel free to grab it there. T-Town Jets gifting memberships. Let's throw one of those in here, baby. Hell yeah. Toot, toot, baby, toot, toot. Got that membership. So shout out. T-Town Jet, by the way, you have 3 memberships so far this month. I'm going to call an audible at the line of scrimmage here, Woody. I want to throw another one on here because we have royalty joining us here on the show. Royalty. Let's pour one out because I see on the old Instagram the youngest brother of Quinnen Williams, Quincy Williams, Giovanni Williams is watching on the Instagram feed.
Hey.
You, Giovanni, because I'll be tweeting this clip out later. I'll invite you as a collaborator on Instagram. Your brother Quinnen, his final question at his press conference yesterday was asking about you, young man, Giovanni Williams, and his question was the question that was posed to Quinnen was, how cool is it basically to have your brother in the building during that rookie mini camp? And man, 3 brothers. Giovanni, you were wearing the Jets gear. You know better than anybody. Quincy was there. Quinnen was there. And like, hey, man, how cool was that? And Quinnen talked about how cool it was. And then at the end, he said, hey, man, Giovanni Williams is going to make his mark in this league. I can't wait for him to get his chance and actually be on a roster. So salute. I see people giving some love in here to the chat. Terrence Hill, Gio Williams, Dylan Terraman, Jet Nation, and all that. Your compadre over there as well. Say, what's up, Gio? So salute to Gio who's here on the show. We'll definitely have him on the show. So, Gio, I'll be reaching out to you soon, buddy, and have you on the program for sure. But that I want to throw out there, and I'll throw it to you for a buy or sell. Giovanni Williams. I don't know how many Williams other brothers there are, but baby, for God's sakes, I'm happy for Gio that he got this chance, and let's see what else he could do. But Quinnen believes that he will eventually have his opportunity and prove himself in the National Football League. Buy or sell that, Mr. James Woody?
Take all my money. What do you mean? You gotta buy that. And again, we actually just talked a bit about it on Tuesday with Quincy, right? Quincy, he knows what it's like to go through a team, be perceived as one team's trash and come and be another team's treasure, right? To climb up through the ranks, all grit, all heart. So I think the DNA runs thick in that family, of course. We already know what Quinnen has done. I think Gio, especially, and this is what we said again on Tuesday, same position as Quincy, right? Being able to, pick his brain in life, right? Not, some of these dudes limited to the locker room, but they brothers, they out here talking all day, picking his brain, being in the building, seeing by example. I'm gonna have to buy that, and definitely, I think we all are rooting for the Williams trio. Like we said, is there a quartet? I don't know, but the trio that we know of, yes, we rooting, and I think he can do it.
And I'll say this for you, Gio, as you're watching the show, and appreciate it on my Instagram. I'll tell you this, Gio. While it appears that you did not make the initial 90-man roster here as we're going through some of the stuff as we're heading into OTAs with none of that being available, that doesn't mean that it's not happening with the Jets or quite frankly with any team. That doesn't mean anything, all right? Sometimes when you have one of these opportunities, rookie minicamp, you get added to the list. They go, okay, we don't have a spot right now, but you know what, Gio? You're top of the list here. There is the speed dial list. Is if something happens to this guy, that's your chance. And you never know what's going to happen. Everyone's path is different. You know your brother's story, but I'll tell it to the rest of us. Quinnen Williams was the 3rd overall pick. His story was unique to himself. 1st round pick, Alabama, all that. Quincy Williams fell to the middle of the rounds out of Murray State. A 3rd round draft choice, who even as a 3rd round pick, people thought he was overdrafted. People went, Quincy Williams, Murray State, what the hell? And he gets dumped by Jacksonville. The Jaguars went, no, we're done with this guy. And the Jets scoop up Quincy Williams. And when they scooped him up, people wrote, "Oh, cool, we picked up Quentin Williams' brother. What a cool story. That's all it is." And I said, "Nah, man, this guy's got skills. If they can be honed, if they can be crafty, he's got a chance." And he, as a waiver wire pickup at the beginning of a season, late August he gets cut. He gets picked up in early September. He's carved out a career. He was a first-team All-Pro, Quincy Williams. So if there's any inspirational story, and Woody mentioned it at the same position, no less, just look to your brothers. You're going to carve out your own path, Gio. And again, I can't wait to talk to you on the show. We'll make that happen. I promise. You're going to carve out your own path. And you can tell all of us it, but I'll tell you it. You're going to have a chance. I don't know when it's going to come. I don't know where it's going to come. I don't have a crystal ball. Most of the time I do make spoiler alerts, not predictions. But in this particular case, I must have left the crystal ball at home. So I don't know exactly where it's going to be or what team. But keep your head up, young man. Keep your head up. You're going to have that chance. I know it in my bones.
Facts. Absolute facts. I mean, I feel like put a button on that one. And let's talk about the coach, the head coach, AG. He talked about participation, OTAs,
Yes,
right?
He did.
As we already said last episode, it's all about or it's voluntary, right? You don't have to show up, but they're showing up. They're showing up. And each of the phases of participation has gone up, right? All the way up to the highest possible number. We're talking about 100%. So let me throw this to you, Boy Green.
Sure.
Buy or sell that this participation level is an accurate barometer of the team being bought in and ready to win some football games this season.
Now, I know if I asked AG this question, if I said, "Hey, Aaron, what the hell does all this mean?" He would say,
"Here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit."
Thank you for that quote, AG. I'm not sure how that answers the question I just asked you, but that's neither here nor there. Here's the thing, Woodster, is I do agree with the coach on this particular occasion. Sometimes we get coach speak, right? I say, "Hey, coach, what's this?" Let me tell you, 110%. Okay, we're going to give it our all. Okay, again, that does not answer any questions, but it's true. It's voluntary. Nobody's got to be there. Aaron Glenn this, Aaron Glenn that. What is it? It's a mandatory for another couple weeks. Could hit, Malibu. They could do something like that for the next couple weeks. They don't have to show up. They are. And according to AG, to your point, it started off at 90%, went to 94%, now at 100% apparently. Great. That's a great message, especially since we'll get to this one next. There were certain players that had not spoken with Aaron Glenn before they made reactions to moves, and they heard things went, oh boy, another rebuild year coming. Another rebuild year. All right, of not believing, not seeming to buy in at the time. We're like, oh boy, that could ruffle some feathers. One of your best players on the team making comments of that nature. That could cause some issues. That could ruffle some feathers. And now to get 100%, I think it does speak volumes. Now, the last time I checked, this doesn't guarantee you're 17-0. It doesn't get you to the playoffs or the Super Bowl, but buying in is a big piece of it. And that's why I think the Jets made a certain decision with a certain player this offseason about unsure how they would buy in. So, we'll make that decision for you, and we'll buy in with what we have. So, yes, while this is the classic May buy or sell question, what does it all mean? Buy, sell, all in, I think in this case it does. Yeah, bye-bye.
Fair, yeah. I mean, the team definitely seems to be bought in. There's no argument about that. I'm gonna sell the overall premise though. I'm gonna sell it that that there's something special a brewing. That's different. I mean, I feel like they've been bought in. They were bought in to Salah. I think he continues to get a bad rap in the afterlife of this wasn't this or didn't do that. But no, this time last year mostly everybody was there. Rodgers was there. I know ESPN made a big hoopla over the mandatory his trip, but at this time he was there. And mostly everybody that we're talking about now was there. So I think it's just them. I feel like, and this happens. All of us. We have jobs. You get a new boss, and it's like, all right, well, looks like I got to make a first impression all over again. You know what I'm saying? I think that's really more of what it is than saying like, oh, what they actually are doing in there is the deal, and about to translate to wins this year. I would also make the argument that you referenced a tweet and a reaction. That's a real reaction. That's a raw reaction, and to obviously completely walk it back and all that type of stuff. I feel like at this point you got to play the game. Like what are you going to double down? There's no way you can double down and remain on the squad. Like you can't be like, I'm tired.
You don't think so?
Hell no. What are you talking about?
He's not your third string punter. He's one of your best players on the team. Let's just address this one. Let's work this one in because you want to talk about it. We're talking about Quinnen Williams. And Quinnen Williams, and I'll pull it up here so we have all the specifics of what were said. Quinnen Williams. So let's go to the beginning. NFL insider Jay Glazer, where he hits us with one of these. This is one of our favorite sounders here on the show. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets are breaking up. And we're like, oh, shit. In the middle of the Super Bowl stuff, we're like, geez, what does that all mean? And I see a ba-ding on my phone, and I'm like, what the? And I'm like, is this real? Is that what? Is that what I think it is? And it was Quinnen Williams, who immediately took to social media responding to my tweet. And I'm like, oh, boy. This tweet ain't going to be up for long. And the tweet was, looks like another rebuild year for me. And he was commenting and sharing his displeasure with the decision to move on from Aaron Rodgers. And again, not knowing, we didn't know Justin Fields would be the guy. We didn't know who would be the guy. We just knew that Aaron Rodgers apparently was no longer going to be that guy. And Quinnen Williams immediately took to social media and he said, another rebuild year for me. And then he immediately deleted it. I mean, within seconds. But sorry, Quinnen, it was too late. I already hit that screenshot. And then put that up. And then he went with a more interpretive tweet where he sort of gave the, he kind of gave the thumbs down emoji. And that you would have had to know in the first tweet to know what he was talking about. And then Quinnen Williams called it immature and went and walked it all the way back. Did a 40-yard dash walking it back. I'm saying, man, I was an idiot, immature, shouldn't have done it. But you're saying, Wudi, that he had no choice. You're saying he had to run it back. What else was he going to do no matter what happened? And I don't think so. Quinnen Williams is one of the best players on the team. He could have said, nah, man, that I was just being real. I wrote an article about it at the time that Quinnen's like 30-60 or something, whatever the record is. It's awful, of 30-40 or something. And it's worse than that. I don't have it in front of me. But like since he entered the league in 2019, the Jets have been shit. And like now it's quarterback door number 2. He's like, oh boy, I thought Aaron was the best quarterback I played with. Now this again. Geez, I thought it was real, and I don't think he had to walk it back.
I feel like it's. I don't even know how you can make that argument. AG has made it very clear that if you're not about what he's about, you're gone. Didn't even give Aaron the time of day. But like, yeah, I mean, he said it. I believe him when he says it. I don't Quinnen is like, oh yeah, I don't want to rebuild. I don't want to do this. He's gone. But I get, like I just said, new boss, first impression, walk it back. And I don't think he wants to go by any means. I don't want him to go by any means. Favorite jet has been my favorite jet for years and years now. But yeah, I think he had no choice, walked it back, and now, everything's all cool, water under the bridge.
Well, let me do a follow-up now, because this is my interpretation. I don't think I've seen anyone else make this connection. I tried to look around to see, because I wrote a piece about it. I would have used someone else backing me up, like, hey, I'm not the only one who thought this, but no one else did. So this is another me quote here, but it's from Aaron Glenn and my interpretation of it. So that's how I will twist it here. Aaron Glenn, during his press conference, was asked about Justin Fields. And he said the number one thing he loves about some Justin Fields is his authenticity, is that he is real. And he went on this rant about, players can sense when someone's being fake. That's the number one thing you can fake. There's nothing fake about Justin Fields. Aaron Glenn's slapping the podium. He didn't really, but I sort of felt it in my gut. That's what he was saying. And then he said this quote, and he said this. I'll pull out a Bill Parcells thing here. He, referencing Justin Fields, is not trying to be the celebrity quarterback. He's just trying to be himself. Did Aaron Glenn, in his praise of Justin Fields, take a shot at Aaron Rodgers, James Wudi?
Probably. Bro, is that the buy or sell that Aaron Glenn took a shot? That's
right, because he didn't say his name verbatim. To make it clear for people that don't watch all the press conferences, I know there's a lot of Jet fans who don't. So I listen to these shows to hear whatever our interpretations are of it. So he did not mention him by name. When he mentioned celebrity quarterback and, hey, man, no one above the team, and just the way he talked about it, sounds like he was talking around Aaron Rodgers and saying how Justin Fields is basically the opposite of Aaron Rodgers, was my interpretation. So, again, buy or sell that old AG was giving a little indirect pew, battleship F5. Pew.
the sound effects today. I will definitely buy that. AG has shown Rodgers nothing but disrespect since he was hired as a Jets head coach. So to continue to disrespect him seems right up his alley. Kudos to Fields for, not being a celebrity. We're going to see if he's a viable NFL starting quarterback, because we don't know if he's that either. But kudos that, he's not a celebrity.
Okay, wanted to work that one in. Go ahead, Woody.
We go with our guy. I think, for a little bit of time now, he's been the consensus favorite of the fan base. Make some cool catches, jump man. Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson. I feel like there's a couple things that he said, but the specific one, especially since we're going to talk about, we just were talking about Aaron Rodgers. He said that last year, his unhappiness was 100% about the lack of success of the team, which is very consistent with his whole career, because the team has been terrible and he is competitive. He's trying to win. He's had to suffer through Zach, all the others, and last year was another year of suffering. Whereas in real time, a lot of people are making it about Rodgers, Devontae. Garrett seemed to pretty clearly say, no, it was about the state of the team, the record, and all that. Buy or sell?
Before I answer that, I want to answer Badshaw, who's in the chat. He says, Aaron Rodgers disrespected AG with his remark about playing for us next year. If you guys don't remember, let's rephrase. Let's do a re-rack, reflex. Let's go with the reflex here. Aaron Glenn apparently, this is Aaron Rodgers' side of the story, so it's got to be real. Why would he lie about this part? Where Aaron Glenn turns to Aaron Rodgers and says, hey, you want to play next year? Aaron Rodgers goes, I'm interested. And at that moment, AG's like, fuck this motherfucker. He's like, come on. That's the classic Aaron Rodgers mystery inside an enigma wrapped in a... Come on, man. Come on. AG is a coach's coach. Are you interested in playing next year? Yeah. Are you planning on playing next year? Yep. Or, nah, I'm interested. And I bet he said that with a stupid-ass Aaron Rodgers grin, too. I'm interested. And then Aaron Glenn was like, nah, screw this guy. 100% you're right, Badshaw. There was complete disrespect by Aaron Rodgers trying to give that BS, trying to be cute. You just met Aaron Glenn.
Funny seeing you guys flip-flop on certain players from like month to month. Yeah, what are you talking about? You worship the ground that Aaron Rodgers walked on. You probably would take some of his used toilet paper and hang it on your house. And now you're talking about, oh my God, he's so smug. Oh, he's such
new information.
Oh, I can't believe. Right? He said an affirmative answer, and for some reason, people don't know what affirmation is. They don't know what.
That's not an affirmative answer. I push back on that. I sell that. Well, it was an unclear answer.
Okay, all right. When you asked me 2 years ago, hey, you want to do a show? I'm pretty sure I said I'm interested.
No, you said I'm in. You handsome bastard.
No,
That's
I'm
what you said.
interested. But
No,
okay, okay.
that's not what I remember. But that's neither here nor there, baby. That's neither here nor there. And CBW says like Boy Green rolled out the red carpet for Aaron Rodgers. I absolutely did, and this goes back to my ideology as a Jets fan. Whenever a player enters our ozone, trade, free agency, whatever, UFL, for all I care, it doesn't matter. You're on our team. I support you until new information is provided where I don't. Jeremy Ruckert, yippee! 101st overall pick, diehard Jets fan. Our tight end sucked. Great. Phenomenal. Then he sucked. I'm like, all right, he's booty cheeks. Okay. I welcomed him. You could say I rolled out the red carpet for Ruckert. I did. And then I rolled it back up. Okay, back in the shop. Sorry. Out. Howdy. Aaron Rodgers, I was all in. So let's go. And then I'm hearing all this hoopla, and he's giving shit to the Jets on the way. I'm like, roll it on back. Roll it on back. So, yeah, I'm not flip-flopping pancake this, pancake that. New information's provides a new answer. I try to be open about all my takes, that I feel this way, but new information could maybe lead me over here. I'm not trying to change different opinions, but I'm open to change if better information is provided. Better information was provided.
All right. Well, back to what I said 12 minutes ago about Garrett Wilson and his reason for being unhappy. Do you buy it was solely team performance related, not Devontae and the Aaron Rodgers show?
I do not. I saw that. Now, you made a beautiful case about the consistency, right? He's been very passionate about winning. He said that since he was drafted. But I think what's also important to Garrett is respect. It's respect. I don't think he wears it as a badge of honor that he's played with 8 different quarterbacks so far in his career. I don't think he's like, woo, 8. I'm sure he'd prefer to play with 1 and just have awesome stats if he had his druthers. So the Aaron Rodgers bullshit, the Devontae Adams, where he got to learn from him, he said, oh, this is great. And it's like, oh, it's the Ben Roethlisberger gif of, oh. Yeah, that the Garrett Wilson part of like, oh, he's getting the rock like all the time. Oh, I see. I thought he was my Robin. I didn't think I was his Robin. That gets a little awkward. So statistically, like, because if Garrett this is a stupid, obvious thing to say, right? If he had a better quarterback, well, let's do this. Let me ask you this, Woody. If Garrett Wilson had a better quarterback, would he have better stats?
Better? What do you mean? Better than who?
So his own. So whatever he's done so far through his first 3 years, do you think if he had a better quarterback, his numbers would jump?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm saying it's probably a stupid question. But the reason I bring that up is that Garrett Wilson, I just read a piece this morning from ESPN talking about like this big thing coming up for the Jets of like paying their guys. And they said, Garrett's probably going to get around $30 million, was this random projection on ESPN. The highest paid wide receiver is making $40 million plus. Garrett's probably like, whoa, what the hell? And the reason is because his numbers aren't better. His numbers aren't better, partly because he's had shitty quarterback play. That's a factor we can all argue and debate how big of a factor that is, but it feels like a pretty big factor. And so it's costing him his bottom line. And I've interviewed Garrett Wilson once. It was a real cool bucket list item. That's in my biggest Boy Green interviews. That was one of the coolest things I've ever done. That's awesome. But I don't pretend to know Garrett and what drives him. But what drives a lot of those kinds of players is respect. And you get respect by your bank account, not just because you want the most money, but your bank account represents. When we're talking about the best receivers of the league, we're like, hey, let's look at the APY, average per year. How much are they making? Oh, Garrett's 15th or something. Like, okay. Then you don't automatically get concerned in the best and stats and all these other things. So long story short, I think there's a lot that goes into it. I think he is a competitive son of a gun based on everything we've seen. But definitely the Aaron Rodgers thing bothered him. Definitely the Devontae Adams thing bothered him. Definitely that he has record-breaking numbers for the Jets through 3 years, which is one category, but not to the Justin Jeffersons, Jamar Chases, and shit like that. He's not getting 13, 14, 1,500 yards. He's not getting double-digit touchdowns. It hasn't happened yet, and I think that does bother Garrett Wilson. I absolutely do. Yes.
Damn, I asked you that question 2 times. I'm not sure if you answered the question itself either time, but we'll accept that rant for what it was. I'm gonna sell it. I don't think he had a problem with Rod. I think ultimately he's trying to win. I don't think
You don't think he had a
cares.
problem with Rodgers. So you think Ian Rappaport was a liar when he said in December that if Aaron Rodgers comes back, he would consider requesting a trade?
Yeah, I think that's misinformation.
Wow.
There is misinformation, reported all the time, and that's what I'm saying. That he could have, right. That was his chance to, kind of even give a piece of that, and I don't think there was. I mean, obviously Garrett was one of the biggest recruiters of Rodgers. I think they were super excited to play with each other, and you talk about record-breaking numbers. All of his record-breaking numbers occurred with Rodgers at the helm. So I think his ultimate goal is to not be on a terrible team. I don't think, your rant about, Justin Jefferson and all this type of stuff and stats and quarterbacks of 3 years ago and all that type of stuff. I think he simply just wants to be on a good team, right? A quarterback will obviously help him be on a good team. I don't think he would rather be and I'm blanking right now at like an elite receiver who's on a terrible team versus like a Mike Evans who is on a great team, but has to share the wealth with like Chris Godwin. Like I don't think he cares whatsoever about Batman and Robin as long as everybody's eating, and that's what his answer said. So I have no reason to call a bluff on what he said, because that's been consistent with his messaging his entire career.
I think the reason why some of the messaging changed is because he's playing with his college quarterback right now, and he likes Justin Fields. They have a relationship. If Marcus Mariota or Carson Wentz, who apparently were door number 2 and 3, were the quarterback, I think we would have gotten a different answer from Garrett Wilson at this press conference. I don't think he'd be singing, Jet for life, believe in the plan. Look at this. We got freaking 35-year-old Marcus Mariota over here. I don't think so. I think he's been rejuvenated. I think he's been revitalized by reconnecting with his teammate. You heard him talking about in the press conference as well. Justin Fields is way better than you people think. I watched his tape and said, damn, if I was playing receiver for some of these plays, I would have caught that ball. So he believes in Justin Fields, and thus Justin Fields is the one that's delivering the ball. So I think we're going to get some different opportunities, but I'm glad that Fields here because I want Garrett Wilson here. I don't want him having all these issues. So hopefully those can all be fixed.
Yeah, I'm still to really address like the unhappy.
But what's the question? So give me the question. What is
it? No, it's. I mean, you're like you said, you already
yeah,
bought it
around it. But what is the question though? What is your actual statement? It's what
was his issues with Rodgers and Devontae, and so that's nothing to do with
100%.
Nothing to do with Mariota. Nothing to do with all the stuff you talking about.
Aren't you basing his answers off of this from the press conference yesterday?
Yeah.
Right. So that would absolutely have everything to do with Justin Fields. What do you mean? Justin Fields is a quarterback now. He's in his mindset, and him answering questions is having his new quarterback, Justin Fields. If he had Marcus Mariota and he was asked all these same questions, I don't think he'd be singing. And again, maybe Garrett, if me and him run into a alley corner, he'd tell me differently. But like, I don't think if Marcus Mariota was his quarterback and he was asked about his contract situation, I would be like, woohoo, Jet for life, can't wait. I don't think he'd be saying that if we're being honest.
Well, my point
Mariota
is that if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback, I don't think he would be wanting to leave town. That's what I'm saying.
And I disagree.
That is your right.
Amen. Blessed be he. And that's all I have, Woody. That's all I have.
Do I have? No, that's all I got as well.
Okay.
That's it.
That's the bell. Ding ding. 300 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Again, make sure you guys show your support. We're streaming live in 5 different places. My YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, Woody's Instagram, and again, Take Flight Talk, which is all things New York Jets content, mine and Woody's content right now, which is also streaming live over there, but also additional content beyond that. So make sure you guys subscribe to that channel. For instance, when the Jets cut Greg Zuerlein, Woody immediately hit it with some video content. If you have the bell notification hit As soon as that content hits you, you'll be able to see that immediately. So make sure you show your support for my guy Wudi. Me and Wudi will be co-hosting a tailgate Jets game coming up on Sunday, October 5th, Week 5 against the Dallas Cowboys. Ticket packages are $300 total. You get a Jets ticket, which is awesome. You get a t-shirt, and also you get a tailgate, which will be catered by Chef Kevin Gilbert with food and drink. It's going to be awesome. We already got a ton of people that are signed up so far. Badshaw, 100% is going to be there. Can't wait to meet Badshaw and his wife. That's going to be awesome. He's already all signed up. So again, if anyone is interested in doing that, and make sure you hit him up. Badshaw says he's already got the tickets. Boom. Okay, there you go. He's already operating. If you guys are interested in that and you have not signed up, that is in the YouTube description down below, the Google Docs sign-up sheet, first name, last name, Jets tickets, Jets tailgate tickets, and an email to reach you. And I will be reaching out ASAP because we, again, already know all the money information and things that nature. So make sure you guys hit it up. If you have any questions, you can hit me up on social media at BoyGreen25. Look at the top of the screen. Boy Green 25. That's it, baby. Just that easy. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and you guys can DM me, and we could talk about that as well.
Yes, absolutely. Did you say blood type? No, I didn't say it.
No. Or organ donor? No.
Okay, but yes. Yeah. Hey, another episode in the books. You already know.
Woody's autograph is up for grabs here. Again, tailgate tickets, t-shirts, and Woody's autograph. Nice.
Hey, trying to do what we can out here. Yeah, I mean, these OTAs very exciting. A lot of great things that we're looking forward to. For my New Yorkers out here, I know there's a lot of dissension in the comments regarding the NBA. But for my Knicks fans out here, I'm very confident in game 2. This is such a great time to be alive. If you are a New York sports fan, right? The Yankees are doing well. The Mets, they just won actually yesterday, so they're doing well. Even though Soto, he out here, I don't know, or he might not be out here. I don't know what Soto's doing right now. To be honest with you, he's just frozen. He's frozen in time. But Yankees doing well. Mets doing well. Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals, first time in 25 years. They were winning the whole game. Come on now, I had to hit the hand of God to send it to OT. So I think there's a lot of reason to rejoice. It's this team. It's this Jets team that's finding. It's the hardest for me to find comfort in. But I will find a way.
And we will see if ways are found. That'll be game 2 tomorrow night at the Mecca. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. My show here with Wudi, Boy Green Meets Woody's, every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 o'clock, streaming both on my social media portals and Woody's. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. It's a free way to contribute to the show. It helps get this show in front of other Jet fans, which is awesome. And if you go to the next level, we saw J-Boy gifted memberships earlier, super chats hitting us earlier. Those all help support the show as well, so we always appreciate that. I'll be back tomorrow morning for Boy Green Daily at 7:30 in the morning. Looking forward to it. Wudi?
We out.
Peace, everybody. God bless. We'll see you. Take care.